While Priceville's off to a 3-0 start, this is relatively newfound success. Coach Parker, in his first season here in Priceville, went 2-8. The players I talked to this week told me it really bothered them to have a season like that last year, so they grinded all off season to make sure that this season was a little bit different. Tigers are the 2025 Class 6A state champs after taking games 2 and 3 of the 3-game series against Chelsea on Thursday here at Jacksonville State University. A large part of the Tigers' success came from the performances of Asher Dupel in games 2 and 3. Here at Rickwood Field, every seat is legendary, but there's just a couple that are a little more special. Over my shoulder here in the left field wall is the scoreboard, where there's some of the most unique seats in the house. Teams took home big wins in week 0, but one win really caught my eye. It hasn't happened in a while, but the East Lawrence Eagles got it done, beating rival Lawrence County for the first time in 15 years. And anytime you do that, you've more than earned Team of the Week. I did talk to Jose, and he was a huge star on the field. Let me tell you, I got a star off the field who's been to almost every single Huntsville Stars or Rocket City Trash Pandas game, and that is Mr. John Tatum. And he's been doing what he does right here, scoring the game. Mr. Tatum, how did you get into scorekeeping? The May Jemison Jaguars are gearing up for what they hope will be a successful 2025. The team went 3-7 in 2024, but they have all the talent in the world all over the field, and Coach Rico White feels confident heading into the year. I visited with the Jaguars as they're in the midst of fall camp to see how they're gearing up for this season. Rico White returns for his 3rd season as the Jaguars head coach, and he has plenty of talent on this year's roster. It all starts with Hezekiah Harris. The senior is the highest rated player in North Alabama by every major recruiting service. He plans to play at Auburn next season.
A lot of teams, they just feel like Jemison, that's going to be a win against, it's going to be a win against Jemison. That's not the case this year.
Also on the defense, South Alabama commit Darius Burwell. Burwell says the senior class is determined to leave a legacy of winning ways.
Came in, got very determined this offseason. As you can see, more focused, more mentally better. Got great things planned this season. We was underdogs last year. We're stepping in this year big dogs, so got to put on what we did, what we worked on. You win, more things happen to you. We want to go far this season. Our plan is 15-0. We break it down every day on 15-0, so that's the goal, that's the plan we want to see.
The talent doesn't stop with the seniors. Sophomore offensive lineman Samuel Bailey has Division I offers from Southern Miss and Mississippi State at just 15 years old. Bailey says getting to go against guys like Harris each day has made him better.
I'm not even going to lie to you. First time I went against Hezzy, I got killed, but I got better and better playing against him. And it's just the improvement from the start to right now. That's what I'm proud of, and proud of the whole team, period.
Since taking the job, White has worked on implementing his culture to the program. Pairing that with the talent on this year's roster, White has high expectations.
Well, the expectation for me is always to win. You know, you want the blue map. You know, you want to get to the state championship. But I tell you what, just win overall, on and off the field. And be a great young man, a great citizen, and that's what it's all about. But I tell you what, I think we'll shock a lot of people this year.
The Alabama A&M Bulldogs opened up their 2025 home slate with the Lewis Cruz Classic and picked up a big 41-31 over Alcorn State. The win also marked Coach Sam Shade's first win as the Bulldogs head coach. Let's jump right into the action. The Bulldogs and Coach Shade hyped up to be back at home. First drive of this one, Quad Brown steps back to pass, rolls out, lobs one up for Jordan Chambers-Smith. He drops it in the breadbasket, and the Bulldogs take an early lead. Bulldog faithful were certainly hyped up after that first touchdown of the season. Alcorn State now on offense deep in Bulldogs territory, handed off to Reggie Davis, and he takes it for 6. This was really the story of the first quarter for both teams, just trading scores back and forth. Next Bulldogs drive, Brown going to make something out of it. He scrambles, gets across midfield, and gets out of bounds without taking a hit. Points to move the chains. And then, a couple plays later, Brown steps back to pass, hits Davian Walker on the crossing route, and Walker has 6 on his mind. You know what he's going to do. He dives across the goal line. They would review it, but in the end, it was a Bulldogs touchdown. Then later on in this one, A&M starting to take control. Brown fakes the handoff, pulls the rock, gets into the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the first half. He does a little dance because when you have 4 touchdowns in one half, you've earned that. A&M gets a big win over Alcorn State, 41-31. Here's what Coach Sam Shade had to say after his team's performance.
Great, I tell you what, man, much respect, man, to Alcorn, man, Coach Thomas, man. Those guys came in here hungry. They fought to the very end, so much respect to them. On our part, I tell you what, it wasn't pretty, but we found a way to get the win, found a way. Had a good plan, offensively had a good plan. They made some plays on us. We had to make some adjustments in that second quarter that we did. But then we come back out in the second half, and you know, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot a few times. So we got a lot of stuff to work on. We got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to clean up. But like I said, much respect to Alcorn, man. They came out here and they fought.
Alabama A&M will hit the road next Saturday, looking to make it 2 straight wins as they take on Tennessee State in Nashville. Dupel pitched 7 2/3 innings over the 2 games Thursday, striking out 6 and allowing just 3 runs. Adding 5 hits and 3 RBIs at the plate, the performance earned him championship MVP.
You know, he's our little spark plug. I think everybody around the program, the school and high school baseball that knows our program now for this year, he's been our little spark plug. And, you know, there's a lot of guys I trust with the ball, and there's just a couple that you trust a little bit more, and he's that guy. And
the junior was a part of what was an undescribably hard week for the Tigers in 2024. The first lost their longtime head coach, William Booth, and then they fell in the championship series. But as the saying goes, tough times make tough people. And the foundation Coach Booth built taught these young men to embrace that.
It's been hard work and kind of blue-collar baseball, and we outlasted teams and all the off-season stuff. I mean, that's just always been part of the culture to 2 days and long lifts and practices, stuff like that.
Hard work paid off for the right-hander who had the endurance to throw 125 pitches Thursday.
I don't feel anything now, but probably will here in a couple hours. But no, it was fun. That's what I wanted. I wanted that situation. I love it.
As he did all year, Dupel led his team, this time capping off with a state championship.
it's infectious, and it's every time he toes the rubber or he's in the box or whatever the case may be, it's super infectious, and for our guys to be locked on him for the last 7 innings of that game and really, you know, the first game as well, that's what I wanted to see right there, and that's what I wanted them to see as well, because they could feed off of it.
In Jacksonville, Josiah Elmore, News 19 Sports. And welcome into Week 3 high school football. If you can't tell, I'm super excited. The season is just getting into gear, and we have an action-packed slate of games across the Tennessee Valley that started with 2 games this evening. So let's jump right into the action and see what went down tonight. The North Jackson Chiefs making the long trip to Joe Davis Stadium to take on the JP2 Falcons. This is a region game over at the Joe tonight. Both squads wanting a big win. Picking things up in the first, Caden Pace takes the Wildcat snap, and he is gone. Gets to the outside and scores. The Chiefs strike first in this one. Do a little dance, young man. The band is fired up. Everybody's excited for this one. Then next Chiefs drive, hand off to Nicholas Price. He goes untouched up the middle to the end zone. Chiefs go up 14-0. Next Falcons drive. They're trying to make something happen. Little jet sweep here. Gets the first down. John Becken, but the Falcons now backed up. Quarterback Joey Ross trying to make something happen, and he gets sacked. North Jackson comes up with a huge defensive stop. Chiefs smell blood in the water, and next possession, Pace, he's going to take the jet sweep. Speeds through traffic like he is in a race. Touchdown Chiefs. And they go up 21-0 in this one. They get a big 40-point win, 61-21 in this one. We're at J.P. Cain Stadium. Hartselle coming off their bye week. Meanwhile, Columbia trying to break the nation's longest losing streak. Hartselle honoring Tristan Hollis, the student who was killed in a tragic car wreck this last weekend. Columbia in the gold helmets. This is a pass from Carter Lee to Kane Falciani running the corner route. He gets in and comes down with a touchdown. Tigers strike first. The Hartselle Tiger is loving it early. Columbia on offense now, quarterback taking a shot downfield, and the stingy Burt Newton defense comes away with a pick. Tigers get the turnover and get back on offense. We're going to pick things up. They're in the red zone. Lee play action. He hits Falciani again. Tigers go up 14-0. Hartselle's loaded with talent this year, and they're showing it off in this one. And a little bit later in this one, Lee hands off to Jaheim Pruitt. Pruitt runs over an Eagle, makes another one miss, turns around and says, hey, we just won 63-0.